Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop game day faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com. My one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 7, The Husbands.
Husbands.
And yet, we did not get an appearance from Ms. Meredith Marks in this episode.
Yeah, I think it was just
she was in the background of the party.
Yeah, the party was the only appearance for that.
I'm starting to worry about her. Is she still recovering from her breast surgery? A reduction?
Did she have another one? And they couldn't bring it up? The 4th, the 5th? It's too embarrassing to bring up now.
Look, if we are theorizing about who might not be back next season, I would say Meredith's at the top of my list.
Well, Brittany takes the cake on that. She will not be asked to
please.
return.
Please don't bring her back.
Or, I'm sorry, Maylee, who I forgot she was on the show because we didn't see her at all this episode. She happened to be in the last episode for about 2 seconds when people said, oh, hey, yeah, remember she's on this show too? Hello, thank you for coming to the party.
Yeah, the friends of the season have really been big disappointments.
Total bummer. But the Bravo description for this one is, Angie's anniversary party leaves the group at odds. Justin and John work to resolve their issues. Angie takes Heather to task. Meredith finds herself in conflict with Angie's husband. Bronwyn invites Heather over to make amends. What?
Meredith finds herself in conflict with Angie's husband.
I don't know. I just got this from Google.
I did too.
Oh, did you have the same one?
I have the same description.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
We're both confused.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Let's just cross that one out.
That one,
That's what happens when you let ChatGPT generate the search results on Google.
Oh, well. Yeah, the Bronwyn invites Heather over to make amends. Yeah, but I don't think it was to make amends. I think it was for other reasons.
Ooh, questioning her motives, huh?
For the invitation, yeah. It seemed like they both had different expectations of how that conversation was going to go.
Both were disappointed in the end, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were equally upset and disturbed with the conversation.
I think I have a better summary of what we saw this episode.
Yeah, let's hear the Carly episode rewrite for this one.
Salt Lake City's water supply is polluted with Vida tequila. Lisa threatens to send an op-ed about Whitney to the New York Times. Heather loses her appetite during a visit to Bronwyn's house.
Oh, no, I can't make an Ozempic joke. I'm not allowed.
Why not? Who cares how Heather lost weight? Do it your way, girl.
Yeah, I don't care. I think it's scary, though, how she just keeps whittling away as the season goes on. I'm worried there's not going to be much left of her.
I'm starting to confuse her with Brittany sometimes.
It's scary because even in her little interlude videos that they shot, that was a couple months prior to the season. She looks like a completely different person when they cut to it in the show.
I'm not going to say that's all the weight loss. It's partially a different distribution of fillers in her face.
It's not helping. Yeah, they're settling differently now.
There's too much going on.
It's a lot happening.
Too many changes too quick.
But who knew? Yeah, I didn't know that Lisa had such high-level connections in the journalism field. I did not know that.
She's going to call everybody.
I guess so.
The New York Times, the New York Post, mostly papers in the New York area.
Specifically, New York.
Also, Good Morning America.
For the yeah, that's
Filmed
also
in New York.
right there.
Nothing that is primarily based in Salt Lake City. She's got to work on that. She's going to have to network a little bit.
Well, New York is the main hub for all of the news in Salt Lake City, or so I've read.
That makes sense why Lisa is part of the Salt Lake City rumor mill.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, before we get into the episode, we do have a few quick announcements.
The YouTube is still growing. We're over 650 subscribers strong, on the road to 1,000. So be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Carly hates saying it, but I'll say it every time. Yeah, every time.
We also have a recap of the entire season of Love is Blind that just got posted a few hours ago.
Well, depending on when you're listening to this.
It could be
it's a
very
time
far
continuum.
in the past.
Yeah, it could be a time continuing thing. So if you're listening on the public feed, then it was yesterday it got published. Or if you're listening on the Patreon tonight as it comes out, it was earlier today. Happy Halloween, everyone. If you really want to put a time
All Saints
stamp.
Day.
Yeah, well, yeah. Dia de los Muertos, to those who celebrate.
And as a reminder, you can listen to this episode ad-free and early, as well as other bonus content over on our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod. And here we go. We are picking up in the middle of the fight that started at Angie's mafia-themed anniversary love fest last episode.
And we're picking up in a very strange part of the evening where Lisa is fully at odds with Whitney. They now have their husbands who are also fighting amongst them. And then this is the time that Angie has deemed, I think we should have Mary Cosby pray over everyone here at the party and provide a blessing for our union.
Right as everyone's about to possibly break into physical violence.
I think we all need Jesus right now. Yeah. Pretty much is what we're getting at.
Was Mary prepared to do this? Because it seemed like she caught her on her way out. She had her bag on her shoulder. She looked like she was ready to go.
I think that was just how she was the entire evening. She's always ready to leave at a moment's notice.
She just never puts her bag down.
She's good. Yeah, she's ready to go if she needs to.
Well, she learned she can't leave things around, especially Brittany's at this party.
Yeah,
she might shove some rolls in there.
There might be some bread that ends up in your purse, whether you want it or not.
The prayer was rather simple. It did seem to calm everyone down momentarily.
Well, I like how she forced everyone to hold hands. That was a very important part of the prayer.
Specifically, I'm going to need Lisa and Whitney to hold hands.
Otherwise, I'm not praying, and we're just going to wait.
The prayer won't work. Jesus won't hear it.
It's not going to work. This is the only way that this can happen.
Watching the two of them hold hands side by side in their Versace at this mafia party was a sight to see.
You could tell Lisa's just white knuckle squeezing Whitney's hand, just trying to crush those little tiny baby bird bones.
She's a very small human. And then as soon as the prayer ended, it was like we just rewound to where things left off. Everybody's arguing with each other again.
It was right back into it. And yeah, there were still a lot of accusations that were flying around. Meredith was getting caught in the middle of that. It was mostly Whitney and Lisa still going at it. And then their husbands, Justin and Jeff? John. Okay. Damn, I was so close too. It's just your standard issue names, husband name that you just got to drop in there. I wasn't sure why Lisa was so upset with Justin's reaction, where the whole basis of the interaction that she was assessing was that if Whitney came up to John, Lisa's husband, and did what Lisa did to Justin, he wouldn't react. He would just take it because he's kind of a doormat. That's how Lisa's trained him to be.
I got to tell you, I was not loving Justin's lunge forward. I feel like lunge is a bit of an exaggeration. He did take a step toward Lisa, who was walking away.
So he was keeping the distance the same. He wasn't closing a gap on anybody.
I do feel like you'd have to take a step forward and then project your voice rather loudly to be heard in this room.
This party was not quiet. So yeah, it's amazing that these people can even hear each other saying anything, because we know the security team that Lisa has on the phone can't hear a word that anybody is saying.
I do think it's kind of unnecessary for the husbands to get involved.
Yeah, this is over the top, and this is just either added for drama or if they were instructed to get the husbands involved, because we ended up with a scene later on where it's just the husbands, which I think is weird when it's just the husbands on Real Housewives.
They do that across multiple franchises, though.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not a fan. That's just me.
Well, get ready because we're going to go through it. We pick up after the party, and it's just Lisa and Whitney debriefing with their husbands about what went down.
And Justin is busy dumping out every single piece of Lisa Barlow alcohol that he can find, any products around the house, even though they probably didn't buy them. So who are we kidding here with this?
I think Whitney was trying to insert a burn when she mentioned that those things were gifted to them. They didn't purchase it with their own money. It was just given to them by Lisa. But she did seem kind of devastated that he was pouring the Vida tequila down the drain. So is it good? It seems like it must be.
Or whatever that other, the cans of
Blue Jay. That's her hard seltzer.
Yeah, I think the seltzer, that was what she was really, you could tell in her face, she was bummed to see those go down the drain. Are you sure we can't just stash them somewhere or donate them or something?
She's like, we could keep them in an extra fridge outside or something.
Nope.
In the garage, and I'll sneak a few here and there.
Yeah.
When you're
it's
not
a
home.
matter of principle. No, we can't allow it. Even though, again, at that point, it's already acquired. I think the main thing is just don't get any more. Don't buy any more if you're going to do that.
It was just very dramatic.
Very dramatic, over the top.
Also, Justin is only wearing things with Harley Davidson logos on them, and Whitney too.
I think they have a season deal.
Yeah, are they still promoting the Harley Davidson Museum 5 episodes later?
It's a sponsorship deal, probably, for the season.
Only Prism hats and Harley Davidson hats in rotation this season.
She landed the brand deals, and so they're really taking it for all it's worth.
I have to say, though, I'm with Lisa on her entire theory of this situation.
That Whitney was just going for the sympathy purchases?
That, yes, she's created this entire storyline and is trying to pin it on Lisa, but really she just wants to keep talking about Prism because it's PR for her company, and she thinks that people will feel bad for her for what happened and that then they will buy things.
I think my favorite part was just Lisa's whole assessment in the confessional footage where she leaned over and then took a sip from a drink with a huge straw, and then they immediately cut to her conversation with her husband where she then is taking a drink from a big gulp soda. She's just constantly going at it with the soda here.
I felt like I was watching 1,000 Pound Sisters.
Yeah, the sodies were flying around.
Drink, I don't know.
8 to 12?
8 to 12 sodies a day.
Something like that. If you have something sweet, cancel it out with a Diet Coke.
Lisa believes that. Do you want to move on to Brittany?
I guess.
Get that out of the way.
Kind of have to.
So she's stopping by Beauty Lab to see Heather, which Heather has been wearing a lot of tennis skirts. What is up with that?
She's been playing a lot of pickleball.
Is that a look that I missed?
She's been playing a lot of pickleball. So I think it's part of this new hobby that she's involved in.
The whole new Heather.
You just end up going out in public wearing tennis skirts more often.
You got to live the lifestyle.
It's just hand in hand.
I love that they both sat down to just chat about what happened at Angie's party, and they automatically start talking about different things.
Yeah, because they can't pin down what drama we were supposed to be catching up on here, because Brittany had her own kind of drama. It wasn't really drama. So I'm glad we had the other thing. I feel like that's where Brittany's like, please give me just a chance, because I had this one thing where I could have had a dramatic point at this party. It could have been part of this episode, part of the season, part of her storyline, and it gets immediately overshadowed because the heavyweights are in here. Well, not like for, you know what I'm saying?
Not the literal heavyweights.
Not the literal, not the, you know.
They're delivering the Housewives storylines that we want to see. We don't care about Jared Osmond.
They're the heavy hitters. It's
there
Lisa versus Whitney, and they're throwing down for the main event in here. And Brittany can't keep up with this weak-ass storyline.
But she won't stop trying to push that it's something interesting. Even Heather was like, what the fuck are you?
What are you talking
remember
about?
that happened.
Oh, right. Yeah, you had your little junior high date that was awkward. Your love triangle with two guys who you aren't actually dating, either of them. How does that work? I don't know.
She did finally decide that she'd had it with her.
Let's just stop. Can you do less? Let's not do this anymore because it's not working.
I kind of feel like Heather is starting to regret having Brittany come on this season as her friend of, because she's not good at it.
And
she's
Brittany,
not good at housewiving.
She's
Housewiving.
She's not wifing good. And so, yeah, I think Heather is regretting this now because now she feels responsible. She feels like a duty, an obligation to guide Brittany through this experience. And how am I supposed to do that when Brittany has nothing to offer?
Yeah, and let's just frame the whole thing. Heather set up the entire Prism rumor and then successfully spread it through the group so that Lisa got blamed for it. And the moment she's been working towards, the confrontation at the party happened, and Brittany wants to talk about Jared showing up to the party.
Well, I guess that's a spoiler alert because I don't think we know that Heather started that yet, even though
we don't. But it's pretty obvious, right?
We pretty much know.
When Meredith approached her about it, she was very coy in trying to say, well, yeah, you should definitely bring that up to Whitney, like on camera soon.
It seems like both Meredith and Heather have gone through that where they're encouraging people to bring shit up on camera specifically.
Yeah, of course.
In relation to a lot of this situation. But I think it's because it gets the information further and further away from them.
Well, and what a genius, because how many degrees of separation are there? Everyone thinks it's Lisa at this moment. Who do you think they're going to turn on when they realize it wasn't Lisa? They're going to think it was Meredith who brought it up.
Because Meredith has been very heavily defending her for quite some time now, too. Even though there are a lot of folks who are seeing that Heather is very much in alignment with Lisa for this season, too. I feel like Mary Cosby's very aware of that. Angie's very aware of that. There are a few people who have noticed that there is this very obvious loyalty between Heather and Lisa.
It's kind of Heather, Lisa, and Meredith, and then the rest of the group.
Yeah, and then Whitney and Meredith are kind of bridging the gaps, and then Lisa even has some other storylines that she's connected out with Bronwyn and things like that, too. But she's kind of just forced herself into those situations a little bit.
I think Bronwyn's going to decide next episode that she's got to part ways with Lisa in front of the group.
They were setting the table for that, too, because Whitney was trying to give her the warning here as well in this episode. Keep your eye on Lisa. Keep both eyes on Lisa.
Well, let's start chatting about that because that's going to be a big part of what we see in episode 8. This is 7, right?
Yeah.
Todd is back from traveling. It sounds like he's out of town most of the week.
That's Bronwyn's husband.
Yes. I don't know why he wouldn't want to stay in their home.
Because it's full of dog shit. And I'm not talking about the art. I'm talking about literal feces from dog animal creatures.
I gotta tell you, the thing that scares me the most about that house is those stairs.
Without the railing?
There's no railing, no banister, no nothing to hold on to. I think that is a death trap for a man like Todd.
That's Bronwyn's retirement plan.
I can see why he's not spending much time there.
Oh, boy.
They're trying to really push us to like Bronwyn.
Yeah, they really went hard on that with the costume airport pickups because Todd travels so much. He works in New York. Everyone should know that by now. Maybe that's the connection point that Lisa has with all of the publishing in New York, perhaps. That's her in. But he flies back and forth a lot. So he's always traveling for business, and Bronwyn always goes to the airport and picks him up in various costumes of ridiculous absurdity.
Right, not fun and sexy costumes.
Well, no, because, yeah, she's out in public and stuff.
We're wearing a lot of inflatables.
Yeah. Why haven't you ever done this for me, Carly?
Do you want me to do this for you?
It'd be entertaining.
I could not have everybody look at me in the airport.
So you won't, is what you're saying.
I won't. I can't. I won't. That's a dream someone else will have to fulfill for you.
I made you a boo basket this year.
You did.
I was guilted into it by the Discord.
Thank you, everybody, on my behalf.
So now everyone can return the favor and guilt Carly into picking me up wearing a T-Rex inflatable at the airport. That'd be really something special.
I feel like I get stopped by security the minute I walk through the door. They're like, this bitch, she's here every week. Not me, Bronwyn.
Right, yeah. She was just chatting it up with people at baggage claim wearing a pig outfit and just going up and saying oink oink to people. I thought that
weird.
That was a little over.
That's going to get you cuffed.
Well, be careful who you oink at in a pig costume.
I'm not going near TSA.
Any
They're going to pull out the zip ties.
Any uniformed officers, you need to be careful.
You know what this made me think of, though? The hot dog costume.
Yeah, costume or couture.
Not couture. I feel like that was a recycled airport pickup outfit.
Oh, okay. Even though she did have quite a runway backstory for that piece.
Don't believe it.
She had it prepared and ready to go for us. I think she was just hoping to stump Mary Cosby on that one.
Trying to get Mary to guess the designer.
Something like that. It seems like Todd's having trouble remembering who the friend of people are on the show right now, too. But he does recognize Brittany's name from, again, that love triangle that was described to him through the copious amounts of one-sided texts from Bronwyn that evening, since he was tucked away in bed. He was not able to be at the party in person, so he just had to live through it vicariously via her text descriptions.
I got to tell you, I feel like I have been a little tough on Bronwyn up to this point, and when I read those texts, I realized she's my spirit animal, and that if at any point in time I have the opportunity to receive real-time text updates from her while she is at an event like that, I will be honored to give her my phone number.
There you go. Yeah. I think she was very proud of her mafia uniform, is what I was about to say. Costume?
No, it was, okay, let's stay away from costume.
Costume?
Her outfit.
Yeah.
She felt like she wasted it, though, when she saw everybody at the party.
She wasted a good look was one of her texts.
It was not giving mob wife. I don't know why she thought it was.
Well, I like that she agreed with us, though, when she got there and she said, no one here looks mafia. I wasted a good look. And
that was true.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody got
including yourself.
Yeah, I think she was a little too confident in what she was going with, too, because it looked very Peacock. And I get it. It's on Peacock. Maybe that was her brand deal. I don't know.
I think it maybe just looked really crazy under the lights, and in Angie's completely white house was not something Carmela Soprano would be wearing.
Not at all. But I don't know. Does Todd not know how to text back? Because all of this was just, it's a wall of text from Bronwyn. I mean, I'm assuming it was probably like 6:30. He was asleep. So maybe that was an issue too. Well, no, because he's 3 hours ahead.
Oh, I thought you meant because he was old.
Oh, okay. No, well, that would be a solid 9:30 bedtime for him, which, I mean, let's be honest.
It's my bedtime too, bro.
Yeah, we're not too far off.
The big thing that they're setting up is that it's about to be their 10-year anniversary, and Bronwyn is planning a big trip to take all the housewives on, except for probably two, Brittany and Heather. It looks like they may not be receiving invites.
Well, Brittany's a definite no. And then Heather's on the bubble. She's not really sure yet, but she wants to give Heather a chance to win her back. She wants to give Heather a chance. Brittany, we know she's out.
I liked how Todd was like, yeah, don't invite her.
Yeah, that's too much.
We don't have the room to invite two men. She can't bring two dates.
Yeah, we had some polygamy jokes that were thrown in there.
Could you imagine how much she would try to overshadow your anniversary weekend? Because no doubt, Brittany would have invited Jared Osmond.
Well, yeah, because
and then he wouldn't come.
This isn't a girls' trip. It's the housewives and their spouses.
Oh, so you don't have a spouse, Brittany.
Brittany doesn't have a spouse, so I think, yeah.
And neither does Heather. Sorry.
Oh, that's an easy out for those two. But yeah, I think it's just, it's adding its whole other dynamic here of how is this going to go? How's this going to go over? Because, I mean, Brittany's not really going to be able to have a rebuttal here of saying, why aren't you inviting me? Unless Maylee gets an invite. Then I think if I was Brittany, I'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Let's really start questioning things here.
Please don't do me like that.
Look, we really bonded when we went to the Bobblehead Museum. I don't know what to tell you.
I thought we did. I thought we really had a connection.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Meanwhile, Lisa is producing her own show.
She's trying.
She's taking her sister Denise out for something to eat.
A shartboard.
A shartboard. She doesn't have the time to stop taking phone calls, though.
That phone has to be just constantly overheating, 9% battery. It's a very large phone, too.
She's got what, like the iPhone Pro Max Pro?
Something, yeah. It's the
mini
huge.
iPad.
It's tipping her over. Worried we got, woman overboard here. But her husband, John, is calling, probably just to see, is Justin around? Are you okay? Are you in danger? Threat assessment level.
I feel like he has to call her anytime he's within a 2-mile radius of a Diet Coke machine or a fountain, soda fountain.
Yeah, which in this town, it's a dime a dozen. Yeah, you're always a stone's throw away from a swig.
The real purpose of this little meeting, though, seems to be for Lisa to talk about what a great mom she is.
Well, not even talk about, just reinforce the idea, because even some of the stuff that she started going into wasn't really great examples of her awesome momness.
So she's talking about Henry, which is her youngest son, that he's really struggling with the fact that Jack's on his mission with his bellyache, his tummy troubles. And it's been a really stressful time because Jack was his avenue for social interaction. And now that that's gone and Jack's friends aren't around, Henry seems to be struggling in that area of his life.
Specifically with the most recent example that she has to offer up here is that Henry had a last-minute birthday invite situation where he was inviting some people over for a party to celebrate his birthday, and nobody showed up. Everybody was going to a different party. So he just decided he was going to go to that party instead.
What are you going to say? I could already see it in your face.
I'm wondering how much to share right now because I was literally addressing something like this in therapy this week. I had a birthday party like that where in 7th grade, I had invited a bunch of people kind of last minute. It was with shorter notice, less notice, but I was inviting people over and one person came over. And so it was just weird and awkward and strange. And then come to find out like a week later that everybody went to somebody else's party that was on the same day. So
I'm sorry, Henry.
Yeah, thanks. Well, maybe Henry will be able to address that in 25 years in therapy. Maybe. I just don't think that this is a great example for her, though.
Well, she was trying to illustrate how she
felt bad.
Empathizes with her children.
Great. Yeah, you felt bad that he didn't have anybody at his party. Why didn't you help him plan out his party sooner than if
because he's a middle school boy?
I guess, but hey, middle school boys want to have fun birthdays too, Carly. Don't come at me.
Oh, poor Henry. I don't know. That's kind of where we leave him. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. Is there something that I could do to help you work through those feelings?
Well, I just thought it was so weird that she's still so upset that how could anyone call her a bad mom when she feels bad for Henry? She was talking about how her mom always went above and beyond and did all these things. And it was like, okay, is she saying that she's doing that? Because it sounds like that we dropped the ball on the birthday thing. I don't like
it, Corey. This one to say, I bet you that boy had one job, which was to invite his friends. And that was the part that did not get done until the last minute.
Okay, fair. I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm sorry. I'm just placing the blame back on the child.
Right.
It's a real healthy thing to do.
Good victim blaming here in this situation. Blame yourself if I don't come to your birthday party.
Cody Brown. Yeah, I don't know how we transition out of that. That was a sad conversation. Lisa feels other people's feelings. Is that the point of this? And
she's still upset that anyone would call her a bad mom because she clearly feels the feelings of her children.
That really wasn't the accusation, though.
Okay.
It was that she lets him game into all the hours of the night.
Yeah, but I think that then she has internalized that as you're a bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is now. And so then she's like, how could anybody say I'm a bad mom? No, Angie never said you were a bad mom. She said that you let Henry game until 2:00 in the morning, which I don't know if Lisa wants to pick at that thread. Because let's be honest.
Why don't you tell us, Corey? What
We've
do you
seen
think?
the
Do you
kid.
think that's contributing to maybe the difficulties in his social life in real life?
I'll tell you that the only friends that I had in high school were friends that I would game with.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Thank you again, Henry Barlow.
So it doesn't. Why am I the voice of Henry for this? I don't like where this is going. All right, we're shifting gears. I'm done channeling Henry Barlow for you. So we got Bronwyn, we got Whitney, we got Angie. They're going on a puffy jacket walk. That's what's happening.
The puppiest?
Puppy jackets?
That would be better.
That would have been better. And
There was a random puppy at Angie's party.
There was. I don't know where that came from. And to be honest, with the size of Bronwyn's jacket, there's probably a puppy in there. At least one.
It was ridiculous.
They're big jackets.
Was it couture? I don't know.
These weren't costume, though.
No, it was a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a puppy under there. But these are puffy jacket walks. And I think it's just, this is a consensus to find who owes whom apologies, because that's what happens after every fight. We have to find out who we should hold accountable and who needs to be responsible for.
Well, who's going to gang up on who next?
That's usually what it ends up being. But this is a way that we can talk about it and openly strategize together.
The most revealing thing about this conversation was that Whitney has very clearly convinced some of the group that Lisa is in fact behind the prison rumors, because Angie is back in her 100%. That was definitely Lisa, and Lisa did it to be vindictive and to come after your business.
Which that's a bit of a stretch. I think Angie
as Bronwyn thinks.
Yeah, because I think Angie wants that to be true. I believe that she wants that to be true. But I think it's kind of short-sighted to just go all in on that when Whitney doesn't even know for sure either. Whitney seems to be convincing people right now, but I don't think she knows for a fact.
No, she definitely doesn't.
She definitely doesn't.
That's been outed by the guy who called her in the car.
Yeah, and so that's where Bronwyn's like, I don't know, you guys. I think we're kind of jumping to some conclusions here, but that's when Whitney has to go very foreshadowing with the warning that she lays out here. You just wait and see, Bronwyn.
She'll do it to you too.
There's going to come a day where you get on the wrong side of Lisa Barlow, and you will rue the day.
I have to tell you, I think that Whitney is playing a masterful mind game with all of them, because everyone is now questioning their interactions with Lisa.
It's working, yeah, because I think she has successfully pulled Angie over, which, I mean, it didn't really take too much to get Angie on her side when Lisa and Angie were screaming at each other at the Harley-Davidson Museum.
I think Bronwyn's going to be one of the holdouts, though, that's a little more difficult to sway.
At least for like one more episode for what we saw in the preview.
So she tells them about this big trip that she's planning, which I guess we didn't mention earlier. They're going to Thermal in Palm Springs, which I had to look up because everyone else seemed very familiar with it.
I don't know what that is.
It is a place for very rich people.
That's why I don't know where that is.
It's a racetrack situation. From what I understand, you also have to buy a $5 million home.
What?
Yeah.
You have to buy a home to go to the place?
It seemed like it's a members-only racetrack thing. I could be proven extremely wrong in the next episode.
Well, no, I mean, Bronwyn's husband was talking about Mario Andretti and the guy from The Bachelor. So those were racing guys.
She does fail to leave out that she's not inviting Brittany.
I thought she did mention that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I think she mentioned that.
How did they react? Fill me in. I didn't watch the episode.
Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody's like, yeah, I wouldn't invite Brittany either.
Okay, let's talk about Heather, though.
Yeah, because Heather is still, yeah, she's still a maybe. I'm giving her one last chance.
And she's even starting to get on the outside of the group because people feel like she is too closely aligned with Lisa.
It's true. It's noticeable now. Angie's noticed it. Mary Cosby called it out. And you know, Mary Cosby and Angie are BFFs this season, too, for God knows whatever reason. Ratings, I think. Definitely. Had to pair them up.
I think Bravo was afraid that Mary might be boring if they added her back into the cast. Because she was just sitting in the back of cars last season. She really wasn't doing anything. She refused to participate in a lot of the activities.
She did need someone to kind of help her along here and get involved in some stuff. So I think it is working out.
I hope she gets a bonus, Angie. She's doing a great job with Mary.
You're doing work over there. And she's also doing work. She's going to Brittany's church gathering group at Brittany's house, and she's bringing along a bottle of wine for the host, the Mormon sign of hospitality, a huge bottle of wine at a church gathering function.
Do you think that Brittany's guests didn't know that she drinks? I kind of feel like she was a little like, oh my God, hide the bottle of wine. Don't let anyone see it.
Well, maybe her dad. Yeah, she doesn't want her dad to know that she drinks wine. But this is just another example of hypocrisy at its finest, because Angie has noticed Brittany likes to partake.
She does enjoy
of the vino.
A good full glass of white wine.
Here and there, every girl's trip, and everywhere in between. So what are they calling this? Fireside? Heather shows up too, so I thought
Fireside chat?
I thought she was going to burst into flames at one point, so that was a little scary.
I don't know. At first I thought this was like a corporate CEO situation. Having a little fireside chat, but it's a fireside church thing?
It's a quarterly town hall, and a message to the shareholders.
Well, it's kind of depressing because they're here to honor Brittany's mom, who passed away.
I think that's what ended up happening, but this sounds like this is almost like a small group, like a weekly thing that happens where it's people from church who are meeting at a house, at somebody's house. This week it's Brittany's. And then you just kind of share testimony and talk about things that are going on in your life. And so that's what this one ended up being, was kind of a in memoriam sort of address.
Yeah, but they're still trying to get us invested in Brittany's story, because they're connecting this back to her parents having had this fairy tale romance, and that's what she's been chasing with Jared.
Her parents dated for 6 days, and then they were married for 53 years. So that's the relationship that she wants.
It's a real Christine Brown situation. I feel like she's doing the opposite, though. She's dating someone for 6 years who still will not admit that they're in a relationship together. I don't think they're ever crossing the line to marriage.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's what she's going to find either. If you're actively seeking something that you can get engaged in 6 days and then be married happily for 53 years, I don't think that that's something that you can seek out and find.
You think that she's ready to rush down the aisle?
Well, yeah. I think at this point, if you're forcing this and that's what you want it to be so bad, then you're looking to push any relationship that you're getting into to be that.
How many times do you think Jared has heard the story about her parents dating for 6 days before they got married?
8,500 times. Every time they go to Costco, every time they're in line and they're waiting, she pulls out that membership card. She brings it up every single time. And he has to wonder, do I really want Kirkland toilet paper that bad? Do I want it this bad?
It's ready to go back to Charmin. It's like, you know what? I'll go to Target. It's okay.
I'll make do.
I'll pay a little extra. I'll get over it.
Did you like the song? The hymn? It was ripping. Sunday service.
I completely erased it from my memory the moment I heard it.
They have decided. No, they didn't sing that one, though. To skip the music. I think it's just weird when it's a whole group of people just singing.
Did you see Brittany was doing her little composer things?
Yeah, she was directing.
Does she know music?
Based on...
Do you think she's just really good at impersonating composers? Is it not a composer?
It's not a composer.
It's a conductor. There we go.
Yep.
Found it. Right word.
Yeah. Based off of the evidence that was presented to us, I would have to disagree with your claim.
Oh, you didn't think that was a great voice she had?
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't tell who was singing once
It's true.
all the voices blended together. They really harmonized in that room.
It just really, gets muddled together, and then there's nothing filling it out. There's no rhythm. There's no beat.
They do take a break to have something to eat, and that allows Brittany and Heather and Angie to get together and chat. And once again, Heather is coming with things that she wants to talk about. She got an invite to go over to Bronwyn's house. She wasn't expecting it. Kind of weird, not knowing how to feel about it at this point.
And she's hesitant because it seems like Bronwyn she's kind of been throwing shade and then also kind of instigating things. She's doing a lot of the things that Heather likes to do. And then that means that Heather can't do that. So I think she's just getting frustrated with that at this point. And now Bronwyn's trying to invite her over to talk through this. She doesn't want to have this conversation with Bronwyn. She doesn't respect her.
I really feel like she's deeply threatened by Bronwyn.
I think there is, just a little shiver of fear that runs down Heather's spine every time she thinks about Bronwyn working her way around the group and divulging information in the way that she does.
I think it's partially that, but more so that she's used to having the witty one-liners, and I think she fears that Bronwyn may cut into her airtime. If you're looking around, because these women are always trying to assess if they're going to be on the cast next season. Every season is an audition for the next one.
Yeah.
And I think she's looking at Bronwyn and thinking, this bitch is going to steal my spot.
Well, that's why she hitched her pony to Lisa this season. That's why Heather is so there. But then that's where Angie starts throwing in some accusations towards Heather, pointing out some of the inconsistencies with the people that Heather has backed over the few seasons that we've had. Not to mention any names, but Jen Shaw comes to mind.
There's one in federal prison.
Yep, that'll do it. So, sticking up for Lisa and defending her in these unquestioning, unwavering ways, it's cause for concern. So Angie's kind of pointing that out. It's seeming familiar. This seems like something you've done before, Heather, and I don't like the path that it's going.
I was surprised that Heather did actually take Angie's point of view into account because she's going to think on it. Not necessarily going to act on it. I'm going to take it into consideration.
I don't think she did. I don't think she was at all.
You don't?
No.
She just said that so she would stop talking about it?
That's exactly why she said that. She just wanted the conversation to end because it was basically, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, but don't let my relationship with Lisa impact my relationship with you. Just because I have a good relationship with Lisa right now doesn't mean we need to be at odds just because you're not happy with Lisa.
Okay, then maybe don't go telling Lisa the things I say to you.
Right. I think that's what Angie needed to bring back up, but she did not in that moment.
No, and I think that Heather's in a tough spot because Bronwyn has very quickly accumulated friends in this group. Angie is one of them.
Yes.
And now you've aligned yourself with the person that everyone's turning on. And you're trying to alienate this new person that people like. Things aren't going to go good for you, Heather.
It could flip. It could flip very easily.
I think she's overestimating the relationships that she's built with the other women in the group.
Yeah, she's overconfident. She's getting too familiar with her position in the group.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
We just get a scene of a car attempting to park, trying to parallel park somewhere on the streets of Salt Lake City. And the windows are deeply tinted, so you can't tell who's behind the wheel.
Who did you think it was?
I didn't know.
Who did you think it was, though?
Mary Cosby. Did your head go there, too? It was Meredith or Mary?
I was going to say Meredith. Yeah, I was thinking Meredith. This felt like a Meredith move.
It is, in fact, not. Apparently, we need to get the Barlows a vehicle that is self-parking.
Maybe it was.
Do you think that's what was happening?
That was the issue? It was trying to auto parallel park? I really hope that wasn't a manual parking job. I really hope that wasn't.
If it was the vehicle, then I'm even more concerned.
Me
we shouldn't
too.
be relying on it that heavily.
No, No, nobody should.
Well, John Barlow steps out, and it turns out we are at another restaurant because he is here to meet with Justin,
who's fully decked out in his Harley Davidson drab.
Again, a shirt and a hat.
Yes. They have a brand deal. They have stipulations that they need to meet. That's why they needed to get involved in this fight. That's why they needed to ratchet this up.
They needed more product placement for Harley Davidson.
They needed more product placement to hit the quota of whatever their deal was. So that was Whitney's chance here. So what, we're going to bury the hatchet over some smashed potatoes and old fashions.
John is just like Lisa because he sat down with something that they were definitely ordering for the table, even if you're not as interested in it as I am. But this place is known for the smashed potatoes.
He's heard people talking about the smashed potatoes. Who?
Lisa.
The people, the patrons here? Or are we talking about like online reviews that people are giving?
I'm not going to lie. I ordered mashed potatoes with dinner, and I'm pretty sure it was partially related to John repeatedly saying smashed potatoes.
And we didn't order from here. We didn't go to the restaurant. It was...
I wish I would have had apparently the best mashed potatoes of my entire life.
Well, I don't know if they were the best. He was just saying people are talking about them. Sometimes if they're talking about them, is that always good? Is it good? I didn't like the way the conversation started, though, because it was basically John kind of on edge, almost like a warning of, if you hear me out, then I'll hear you out on what happened at the party. So it kind of starts off with sort of an intimidation, not even a tactic, but just the vibe was off. I didn't like the setup.
I think John was doing his best to come into that conversation, making it very clear to Justin that I'm willing to talk this out with you, but I still have an issue with how you spoke to my wife.
Okay. And then I think they did a good job establishing of what the issues were and who was out of line, because John had called out Justin with, I think it was the step that seemed a little bit aggressive when you stepped towards Lisa while you were yelling at her. And that was what kind of set John off on a defensive mode. But then Justin was like, okay, then why did you come at me out of nowhere on the second time that you interjected in that? And that didn't make sense because there was no step for that. So then that was the one where John had to kind of go, oh, yeah, that's on me.
He did apologize for it.
They each had their own thing that they took responsibility for. They were able to see each other's reasoning and how their reactions took place and what that led to. Where it gets really risky, though, is where John asks for Lisa's apology that Justin should be delivering here. And Justin hits him with I'm going to have to think about it. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. An apology to Lisa for acting the way that she usually acts on a good day.
I didn't love it.
You didn't love that Justin wasn't ready to apologize to Lisa?
I didn't really enjoy the interaction at the party.
Right. Yeah.
I do feel like I would not be comfortable if I'm at a party and I shouted something in passing to someone's husband as I was essentially walking away. And then they started to walk towards me while yelling.
To be fair,
like now they're going to engage me in a fight.
To be fair, she didn't say it in passing. She went over and she charged at him.
Okay, you know what? I'm on her side because Whitney is a liar.
So this is the other.
I'm just going to say
this is the other thing too. Is if she is running around screaming these things about his wife, charging at him and saying these things, and he doesn't even know what she's talking about at that point, that puts him in a weird spot. So then she starts walking away, and that's when she's still yelling more crazy things at that time that he doesn't know.
Crazy things,
at
Corey.
That time,
she's going to contact her cybersecurity team, and she is taking the distance.
To the Supreme Court, I assume? Is that in New York City? I don't think so. Pretty sure it's not.
The center of the world is New York City for Lisa Barlow.
For Lisa Barlow.
All things happen there.
Yeah. I think for the first half, the first part of that interaction, I didn't really like Justin's response to it when he was stepping towards and combative back at Lisa. Didn't like that. The second one, when John just ran up and shoved Justin away from Lisa, while they were talking.
I think everybody at that point, just like everything was heightened. Everyone was worried about where things were going to go. They're in the middle of an argument.
But that one was off for me, to just have John come up and just start pushing him away. And that's what Justin was even confused in that moment. He didn't even get mad right away. He was more just shocked and confused.
I think John was too. He was
why?
like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah, why are you pushing me out of the way when we're talking at a pretty reasonable volume and not doing what we were doing earlier by any means?
Well, I think it's pretty clear that Lisa is not going to be getting her apology from Justin anytime soon.
So that's what I'm saying is I feel like there would kind of need to be a mutual apology there too, because Lisa wasn't really handling herself in the finest way either.
There's no way Lisa's going to apologize to him, especially because of the fact that Whitney did lie.
Right. And so that unfortunately puts Lisa in the position where she gets to say, I have nothing to apologize for because everything I said was true. Okay, but the demeanor and the berating and the charging at Justin to make all of those statements, that was all stuff that was very unnecessary.
I don't think they'll talk about it until the reunion, or at least they won't work it out until we get the reunion with Andy Cohen.
Unless John gets another hankering for some smashed potatoes. I don't think we're going to hear about it anytime soon.
All right, the big moment. Heather finally arrives at Bronwyn's house. She's confused about why she's there. She gets the house tour. And let me tell you, it was a different situation than the last time we were here.
So was this remodeled? Is this post decoration?
I think she's been decorating. It's been taking quite a long time.
I think she said...
Did she clean the house up better when Mary came over?
I hope so.
Or she went to Mary's house. Which way was it?
Well, Heather went to... Yeah, Heather went to Mary's house. Bronwyn.
Who else has been to Bronwyn's house?
I think it was just that interior decorator so far. Or no, well, yeah, and then it was scenes with Gwen and then scenes with her husband.
All right, so no one's been in the house.
I don't think so, because that was why she had the decorator over, was because she said it's been like 6 years and there's still
I've just been letting the dog shit on the floor.
Still just moving stuff in and don't have anything decorated. She feels like she can't invite anyone over to her house.
Well, that was proven right in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably, if this is the state that it's in, I don't think it's a good idea to be hosting.
No, my alarm bells went up right away when she said she had 6 dogs.
Well, and the floors, I mean...
The floors looked dirty. As she is saying that, you look to the left, and there's just a layer of dust and footprints all over the floor.
So, I mean, it's noticeable, and not just in the obvious ways that we see shortly hereafter, too.
Right, I said that before we even saw the dog
It
poop.
was before that, because then, yeah, once we find out about the dogs, a lot of the dogs have been using the restroom in the house. There's number 1s, there's number 2s.
You know what? It was traumatizing for me. It gave me flashbacks to when we were shopping for houses and we went to that one house where they just let the dog shit all over the floor.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Remember, we had to we took our shoes off at the front door and we're just walking around in our socks. And when we got upstairs, there was just dog shit everywhere.
Okay, so here was the kicker. It was because they had new carpets in downstairs. So they were like, oh, make sure you take your shoes off. So our realtor made us take our shoes off downstairs. We walked around. And then as we went upstairs, then there was just stains all over the carpets everywhere upstairs.
We learned why they needed new carpet down there.
That's why they needed new carpet down there. And then the dog had been upstairs. Because did they change the carpet upstairs too? And then it was the new? I thought there was some spots where then it was the new stuff was getting hit too.
I don't know. Either way.
But yeah, that
I was really like, I couldn't have kept my shoes on for this.
I have to burn my fucking socks now for this? Good. Great. So I hope Heather kept her shoes on. I think she did. What was the other thing? Oh, the Starbucks mugs in the kitchen? Good Lord.
What? Todd? What are you doing? I guess this man has very few vices, but the one that he just can't kick is collecting those travel Starbucks mugs, where when you go to a Starbucks in a new city, they'll have like, here's the Seattle themed mug. Here's the Chicago mug. He's got them all. And I mean all.
They're all over the place. It's an entire counter in their kitchen is just covered in these mugs.
Why hasn't she found some place to display them yet?
That's not an everyday use item. I don't think you need to have those there.
No, she's got a Stanley mug collector's situation. Have you seen that on TikTok where people will
Open up
rearrange the colors?
Oh.
No. Now they've got shelves on the walls because they want to look at them.
Oh, okay.
They don't want them in a cabinet where you can't see them. This is their proud collection.
See, this is all scratching at the door of TISM. And I feel like I was getting some of that neurodivergent vibe from Todd when he ended that conversation when they were out to lunch, when he just said, we've talked about this. You know how I feel. We're done talking about this. And I feel like I've ended conversations like that before.
Yeah, and I've tried to have them again.
I feel like I deeply resonated.
Am I Bronwyn?
Am I Todd?
There's no dog shitting on our floors, so.
She shat on the floor today.
She did.
She had an accident.
Look, Maisie had an accident this morning.
It was an accident.
It wasn't great.
And we clean it up as soon as it happens. That's the other difference.
Yes, we do have, what is the stuff we use?
The Nature's Miracle, I think is what it's called.
No, but it's to make sure that they can't smell that they've gone there before.
Yeah, it's the enzyme.
The enzymes.
Stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got the cleaner.
That's a brand deal for Bronwyn.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, if we're talking about land and brand deals, then we should get Bronwyn on the Nature's Miracle. I don't know if you can spray it on hardwood, though.
I'm not convinced those floors were hardwood.
I think she had some carpets that were getting hit, too, though.
All right, so Heather is here. She's looking at the mugs. She's getting served a piece of coffee cake.
She's mugging the mugs, yeah.
And they sit down so that a dog can attempt to eat her coffee cake off of her plate with her. I
liked that, yeah, there was a dog that was just resting its chin gently on the coffee table, looking at the plate of food, but not going after it, but just...
That's very well behaved.
Keeping a close eye.
Maisie wouldn't do that.
No, she would be right up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be a big problem. So we're kind of starting in on the conversation.
We're past the niceties.
They're getting into sort of apologies about being messy, about taking responsibility for messy behavior.
I don't think it was an apology. It was both of them trying to pin things on the other.
And trying to get an apology from the other person without saying that too outright. I think that's what Bronwyn was really hoping for in this discussion, I guess. But that's not what Heather was here for.
Heather didn't come here to make a new friend.
No, she was here to scope out your house so she could
talk shit about it as soon as she leaves.
Shit about it. And you know she's going to bring up the dog shit. She's going to tell everybody what's going on in that house now.
It just kind of devolves. And then Heather just asks, why am I here? Why did you invite me here? Because it kind of feels like you invited me here just to apologize to you, which is a bit strange.
It was weird. When you put it into that context and you view it through Heather's lens, it does kind of feel like that, where you're telling her, hey, I'm having this party. I'm inviting people out to it and spouses and stuff. And I'm thinking about inviting you, but we're not really in a good place for that.
So tell me why you think you should be invited.
So, yeah, I'm going to interview you.
She was vetting her to see if she was someone that she would be willing to invite to her party. And she failed.
So
she failed the vetting process.
Well, she called it out for what it was, and then that just makes Bronwyn uncomfortable.
See, that's the thing, though. The both of them are very no bullshit. Call people out on what it is they're trying to do when they're trying to manipulate you in a situation, and they don't like it in each other.
And I think when they realize that, once they do come to a place where they realize that, because I think that they're both used to manipulating whoever is in front of them, and not necessarily manipulating in the way of
they don't necessarily have a bad intention.
Yeah, not like an ulterior motive or like
they're just leading a horse to water.
It's kind of just they're used to being able to guide people into an opinion or a decision that they would reach, a conclusion that they would reach. They can't do that to each other though. So that's like they both have the same superpower, and then it cancels it out when they're in the same room.
I know. I need them to pair up though, because I feel like they would be unstoppable.
I think once they figure that out, that's going to be the key, is once they realize that with their powers combined, and when they do get on the same page and they are 100% honest and authentic with each other, I feel like they're going to be able to do some work.
Well, that day's not today,
no,
unfortunately.
No.
It just ends with Heather placing her coffee cake back down on the table.
For the dogs.
And excusing herself because she's not going to stay here for this conversation any longer. She wishes Bronwyn luck with her new besties, and they just continue to yell at each other as Heather walks away to her car.
And Bronwyn's kind of upset by this because then this feels like another failure to her. I don't know what she was really going into.
She tried to go with some like deeper feelings that I feel like were meant to connect back to the Gwen storyline, but
her authentic self and not being good enough for people, and she was presenting her best self.
You're taking it a little too seriously.
I think that was
it's a little too deep.
It was an overread in what was going on for sure.
Next episode, Bronwyn and Todd take the couples to Palm Springs to celebrate their 10th anniversary. But once in the desert, the divisions in the group become clear. Even after being uninvited on the trip, Heather makes her presence known in Palm Springs.
Heather uninvited on the trip? And from the preview that we saw at the end of the episode, it looks like Lisa gets uninvited too. So Bronwyn is not shy about the uninvites.
She just rescinds those invitations.
Wow.
It's a little too late once somebody's already there.
Once you're there and you have a room, and you're going to force somebody to check out early?
I guess we'll find out.
I don't think so. Lisa Barlow is not going to check out early.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast or leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time.
The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
As the days get shorter and the nights chillier, it's tough to keep up your fall workout routine. Thankfully, there's Alo Moves, the app that brings workouts and wellness to the comfort of your home. Join alomoves.com with code ACAST for a 30-day free trial and 20% off an annual membership. From yoga and Pilates to sound baths and meditations, Alo Moves has it all, with classes made to fit every schedule. Find your perfect wellness routine anytime and anywhere with code ACAST at alomoves.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.